Well, I hope your wife is not around, but we all know the true answer to this. What's up, guys? It's been 1 year since I made a video on this channel, which, by the way, doesn't mean that I've been lazy, but anyway. Now, before we get started talking about the X-T5, I would like to show you a little something that I made for Fujifilm. It's an ad for the X-H2S. Great project, a lot of fun. Whoa. You can see more about that on my German YouTube channel. And I also gave a talk about this project on the Photopia Fair in Hamburg, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, which was also very exciting. And Fujifilm keeps on pushing new cameras. So we first had the X-H2S, then the X-H2, and now finally I got the X-T5 in my hands. Unfortunately, it's not mine, so I will have to return it to Fujifilm in a few days. But anyway, I thought I'd make a quick video for you talking about this camera and giving you my impressions and my thoughts about it. I'm also curious about your thoughts on the X-T5, so please make sure to leave a comment down below. Anyway, most of you know that I'm a great fan of the X-H1. Now, the X-H1 is not the newest model, so these are very exciting times for me. And it's getting harder and harder to decide which camera to pick. Anyway, the X-T5 brings a lot of things back that people are missing and have been complaining about with the X-H series recently, especially all the dials and the look and feel, and of course, the display, which is more suitable for photography, and it's not the way the display has been with the X-T4. It's back to the original screen mechanism which we had on the X-T3 back in, I don't know, many years ago. But it's more related to photography, so you can use it like this to see from top, so it's centered with your lens. That's pretty neat. And you can also use it to shoot portrait orientation like this. So it's not very useful for people that do a lot of video work. So if you are vlogging and shooting yourself, you cannot see yourself. But anyway, I think for photography, it's the better option. Anyway, the camera has also been reduced in weight. It now weighs 557 grams, which is 50 grams less than the X-T4, which is almost 10% of the camera weight. So actually, that's a lot. So we all appreciate Fujifilm for being small and lightweight. So yeah, a good thing. Well, I never thought that Fujifilm cameras are heavy, but yeah, thanks. Also, they improved battery life by around 20% compared to the X-T4. They claim that you can take 740 images with just one charge, which is totally possible, but I didn't check. The body is available in black and silver, just as always, and here in Europe, price is 1,999 euros. So it's cheaper than the X-H2S and also cheaper than the X-H2, which is great because I think this will be one of the most popular cameras. And I think they are more popular than the X-H series, probably. Anyway, I think the most important upgrade for the X-T5 is, of course, the sensor. The camera now features a 40 megapixel APS-C sensor, which gives you plenty of resolution and detail. And trust me, I've taken quite some photos with this camera recently. Let me show you some of them right now on screen so you can see what I did. The resolution of the sensor is 7728 by 5152 pixels, which is a lot. Also, speaking about the new sensor, the new base ISO is 125. And of course, the X-T5 also features the well-known IBIS, in-body image stabilization. I remember there was a time when not every camera had IBIS, so you really had to mention it. And nowadays, everybody's expecting that the camera has an in-body image stabilization. And of course, the X-T5 also has it, and it works smooth, perfect, just like we're used to. Let's talk about speed. The X-T5 takes 15 frames per second with mechanical shutter, and it can go up to 20 frames per second with the electronic shutter. But there will be a crop. It's 1.29, something like that. But anyway, I think 15 frames per second is plenty. And if you need more, well, there is the X-H2S. You remember this photo? If you need more, go for that. And since we're still talking about speed, the new electronic shutter on this beast can go up to 1/180,000th of a second. It's hard to pronounce for me, but I guess you know what I mean. And while all of that is exciting, I think one of the most exciting things about this camera is the multi-shot mode. I hope I said it correctly. Pixel multi-shift. Pixel shift multi-shot. And in this mode, the X-T5 will take 20 separate frames, and you can combine them to a 160 megapixel photo in post-production, which is absolutely crazy. Well, it also is a beast in video. It shoots 6.2K. It shoots RAW through the HDMI port, and it shoots 240 frames per second slow-mo, but it's only full HD slow-mo. So it's not quite where the X-H2S is, but it's still a very capable video camera. The X-T5 features dual SD UHS-2 slots, which is great because I'm not a huge fan of purchasing new memory cards just because I got a new camera. So no CF Express slot, which might disappoint some of you, but I still think it's a great idea because this camera doesn't need the crazy speeds that CF Express cards provide. So SD is fine. Also, there's a new skin softening effect, which I don't care about. All that being very exciting, there are also some sad news. Yeah, there won't be a battery grip for the X-T5. And you can tell because there are no connections on the bottom. There will be a grip, which also features an Arca Swiss plate on the bottom, but there won't be a battery grip, which honestly I don't care about that much because I never used battery grips. But I know that some of you like to use battery grips and you might be a little bit sad or upset. Anyway, that's the way it is. Also, there is no charger included in the kit, which is a bummer. And I think for a professional camera, there should always be a charger in the package, but no charger included. Let's talk about the 40 megapixel sensor in a little more detail. Well, no, let's not talk about it. Let's have a look at some photos. And I made a comparison between my good old trusty X-H1, which is 24 megapixels if I'm not mistaken, and the X-T5, which has 40 megapixels. So compare these photos to get an idea of what you can do with such a high resolution. There's one more thing when talking about this sensor and the high resolution that this sensor gives us, and that's noise. And I was quite skeptical about the noise levels which we could expect from this sensor, so I had to take some test photos. First of all, let's compare ISO 200 between the X-H1, which is quite an old camera, I know, and the X-T5. Okay, that was easy because it was a low ISO. But what about higher ISO? Let's compare ISO 4000. Let's talk about AF on the X-T5. As you know, Fujifilm puts a lot of effort in their AF system, and the X-T5 is no exception. To be honest, the X-T5 gives us an excellent autofocus performance, especially since it has AI deep learning technologies which help seeing subjects. So the camera can recognize animals, dogs, airplanes, cars, trains, motorbikes, and bicycles. And it works just fine. Have a look at this sample photo that I took from my dog. I mean, the camera even recognizes the eyes while the eyes are closed. So crazy AF performance. I was really surprised. Now let's talk about the most important question of all. Should you get it? Well, I hope your wife is not around, but we all know the true answer to this. But let's be clear. A new camera won't take better photos. So if you're not able to create awesome photos with your current camera, then you probably won't be able to do so with the X-T5. But it's an awesome piece of technology, and it's a great tool for photographers. It increases your speed, it increases your image quality, the resolution is awesome, it's fun to use, it's very speedy, fluent. And to be honest, there is not a lot to complain about. I mean, well, there are things we can discuss about. So just like the battery grip or the memory slots. But all of this is not important when taking photos. Fujifilm has always taken good care of everybody. So you are able to customize this camera for your needs. You have a customizable quick menu. You can customize how many options you want in that quick menu. You can have a separate quick menu for video. You can save 7 custom programs. You have function buttons, like a crazy amount of function buttons. And all of this helps you to make this camera really your camera. And I love taking photos with the X system, and the X-T5 really doesn't disappoint in any way. So if you're able to afford it, go for it. That's pretty much all there is to say. I hope you enjoyed this little update video. I really appreciate all your comments, and I'm gonna take some photos now. Goodbye. 180 dual? The electronic shutter on the X-H. The multi-exposure, mamma mia.